Welcome, welcome for another interesting session related with park transformation for power system stability study. Let us see outline for today's session. It is seen that voltage and current in a power system can be converted to a stationary reference frame and also rotating reference frame using Park's transformation. This session presents a brief idea of Park's transformations in which phase currents and voltages are expressed in terms of current and voltage space vectors. The space vectors are then represented in a stationary reference frame. Then general rotating frame of reference has been introduced. The rotating frame of reference is then described in terms of d and q axis. The space vector is then expressed with respect to dq reference frame. Park and inverse Park transformation have been discussed in this session. Let us have quick recap for last session. In last session, we have seen physical description of synchronous machine related with the rotor and stator circuits. Then we have seen the fundamental related with law of constant flux linkage. We have seen mathematical description of a synchronous machine. We have seen how permeance is varying according to the position of the rotor, how inductances are varying according to the position of the rotor with respect to stator rotor magnetic field. Then we have seen basic equations of a synchronous machine. There we consider 4 sets of windings, right? For physical description of synchronous machine, we have shown amortisseur winding along with the phase windings and your field winding. That you remember in that diagram we have shown as IKD and IKQ. K stands for amortisseur winding, and we consider only one amortisseur winding for physical description only. Okay, but whereas for deriving or for writing basic equations for synchronous machine, we neglected that winding, amortisseur winding or damper winding, we used to say like that, correct? So for derivation of basic equations of synchronous machine, we consider only 4 sets of windings, that is field winding and 3 armature windings. For that we consider or we have discussed there resistance of field winding RF, and for armature winding these are symmetrical, so we can assume RA is equal to RB is equal to RC is equal to R, right? Then we have seen inductances. These inductances are important and they varies according to the rotor position with respect to the phase winding, correct? So we have seen self-inductance of armature winding LAA, LBB, LCC. Then mutual inductance between phase windings LAB, LBC, LCA. Then mutual inductance between field winding and armature winding, right? LAF, LBF, LCF. And also we have seen what is the importance of MMF waveform. Okay, we have seen interpolar axis, polar axis, that is D axis and Q axis. Interpolar axis, that is quadrature axis, and D axis, that is the polar axis. Okay, so these were few important points which were discussed in previous session. Now today we are dealing with very important theory or transformation, one can say, that is the Park's transformation. Why we have to deal these, that we are going to see today. why we have to consider Parkes transformation. Okay, let us see that. For that, one must know what is reference frame of theory. We used to say that we are going to consider certain reference frame to analyze synchronous machine. So what is that? Let us see what is the power of reference frame theory. It eliminates rotor position dependence inductances and capacitances. As we used to say in previous session, that the inductances are mainly dependent upon the rotor position, whether it is along, whether the alignment it is along the d axis or q axis. But because of the reference frame theory, these are eliminated. Then another, it transforms non-linear systems to linear systems for certain cases. Fundamental tool for rigorous development of equivalent circuits. It can be used to make AC quantities to become DC quantities, and framework of most controllers. So I got, from that point of view, reference frame of theory really important. Let us see history of reference frame theory. See students, this is just for your information. Correct? So we are even today in 2021 we are learning Parkes transformation, which was proposed by scientist Park in the year of 1929. So see how these are important for power system stability studies. Still we are understanding these Parkes transformation. Okay, so what they indicate: synchronous machine and rotor reference frame. Then 1938 Stanley, the work by him related with the induction machine with the stationary reference frame. Then 1951 Krohn, induction machine synchronous reference frame. Brereton in 1957, induction machine with the rotor reference frame. Scientist Krauss 1965, related with the arbitrary reference frame. All these scientists, they analyzed synchronous machines and induction machines for developing complicated equivalent circuits related with either rotor reference frame or stationary reference frame or synchronous reference frame or arbitrary reference frame. Okay, so that one can have modifications for concerned model. Okay, now out of these different reference frame theory, from our syllabus point of view, we are going to understand for Parkes transformation. This is important from also your university exam point of view. So university questions related with the Parkes transformation may be for 7 marks or even 15 marks. Deduce Parkes transformation relating the three-phase currents of synchronous machine to its corresponding DQ axis currents. Or another way of asking the questions based on these Parkes transformation as: using Parkes transformation, express the currents ID, IQ and I0 in terms of actual armature phase current IA, IB, IC, and hence give physical interpretation of Parkes transformation variables. Using Parkes transformation, another type of question. Using Parkes transformation, express the currents or voltages given in phase variables into DQ0 variables. Right? let us understand Parkes transformation. Okay, be attentive. The equations of the synchronous machine may be greatly simplified by a proper substitution or transformation of variables. That is, a set of fictitious currents, voltages, and flux linkages will be defined as functions of the actual currents, voltages, and flux linkages, and the equations will be put into terms of the new variables. The equations may then be solved for the new variables as a functions of time. From the results, the actual electrical quantities can be found as a function of time. The substitution could be regarded as a purely mathematical one, and from this point of view, it would not be necessary to give any physical interpretation to the fictitious or substituted quantities. Let us recall synchronous machine equations. We know if a closed circuit with resistance R and inductance L is considered without a source, then the equation obtained using KVL will be what? Ri plus L di by dt is equal to 0, or it can be also written as V is equal to, if we consider as V is equal to Ri plus d psi by dt, considering the what will be the output voltage. Okay, psi we are knowing, flux linkages. The self-inductance and mutual inductance of generator windings are not constant, and some of them vary with the position of the generator rotor. We know this. Okay, hence we obtain time variant differential equations which are difficult to solve. We know the values for self-inductance and mutual inductance, where we found the expressions involving cos term, cos 2 theta term, and these are varying as per the position of the rotor. That is, along d axis and q axis the values are different. So obviously we obtain time variant differential equations, and as we have studied in mathematics how tough it is to solve time variant differential equations. So for further analyzing, it is important to have certain kind of substitutions or transformations, right? So to transfer these into time invariant differential equations, some of methods of coordinate transformation have been proposed, among which the dq0 transformation proposed by Parkes has been most widely used. In dq0 coordinate, flux linkage equations become time invariant. Hence, mathematical model of a synchronous generator is presented as a group of time invariant differential equations. And this is possible because of only Parkes transformation. Keep in mind. Thus, Parkes transformation greatly simplifies the mathematical model of synchronous machines. Okay, otherwise if we are not using such type of transformation, it will be really tough and tedious task for mathematical analysis of synchronous machines. So what is Parkes transformation? It describes a new set of variables such as currents, voltages, and flux linkages obtained by transformation of the actual or stator variables in three axes, d, q, and 0, or o. You may say o also, but I used to say 0 axis. Why? That will be cleared for on the further slides. The d and q axes are already defined. The 0 axis is a stationary axis. One of the reason calling this as a 0 axis because it is a stationary axis. What does this Parkes transformation then do? It describes a new set of variables such as current, voltages, and flux linkages in dq0 axis. The stator parameters are transferred to the rotor parameters. Okay, as if you remembered for transformer also, when we were studying about transformer and its equivalent circuit, and when we tried to solve numerical based on this, we used to say refer to the primary side, refer to the stator side, and that makes our calculation more simple and easy. Likewise here also, due to Parkes transformation, mathematical equations for analyzing synchronous machines, it is in the more simplified form because it transforms the time varying differential equations of the synchronous machines into time invariant differential equation form, right? Parkes transformation converts three-phase flux linkage armature current voltage into dq0 components in the dq0 coordinates through an equivalent coordinate transformation. It can be written as, if we consider a column matrix, AD, AQ, A0 is equal to 2 by 3, then it is 3 by 3 matrix. As if we consider for the D axis, okay, and if we resolve that along the D axis, as we know that theta is what? Theta, it is the phase difference, angular difference between the D axis and the phase axis A, if you remember that diagram. Okay, so that means if I consider that position, what I observe, for this angle theta, the D axis, it is adjacent. Okay, so obviously as it is adjacent, therefore for D axis I used to take the quantity that is cos term. Okay, if we resolve that phasor, what we obtain, the theta, it is adjacent along the D axis, therefore along D axis we write cos theta, and obviously for Q axis it will be what, in terms of sin theta. Okay, and for 0 axis we are getting the summation of three currents IA, 1/3 of IA, IB, IA plus IB plus IC is equal to 0. Okay, symmetrical currents. Therefore, I used to say this third axis as a 0 axis. Okay, so Parkes transformation converts three-phase flux linkage, armature current and voltage into dq0 components in the dq0 coordinates through an equivalent coordinate transformation. It can be written as, first to the left hand side, AD, AQ, A0 is equal to 2 by 3 in bracket 3 by 3 matrix cos theta. Then we know the phases are displaced from each other by an angle of 120 degree electrically apart. Therefore, cos of theta minus 2 by 3 and cos of theta plus 2 pi by 3. Okay. Second term, that is AQ, related with AQ, related with the quadrature axis. Therefore, term minus sin theta minus of sin theta minus 2 pi by 3 minus of sin theta plus 2 pi by 3. Okay, and A0 will be 1 by 2, 1 by 2, 1 by 2. Or in short, it will be 1/3, 1, 1, 1. Okay, and then here on the right hand side column matrix AA, AB, AC. For simplicity of expression, the equation above can be written in more compact form as what? A with the reference axis what? dq0 is equal to P A ABC, and this P, it is important. This, how we have converted dq0, we can convert all the quantities related with current, voltage and flux linkages with the reference frame of dq0 can be transformed to the reference phases A, B, C by P, and that P it is Parkes transformation. Okay. So for example, if I consider current ID, IQ, I0 is equal to the complete matrix, it is transformed to IA, IB, IC. And this transformation matrix, that is 3 by 3 matrix, it is what? Parkes transformation, right? Okay. And the Parkes transformation matrix is orthogonal. We are using this orthogonal property, and thus it is a power invariant transformation matrix, that is P inverse is equal to P transpose. As soon as we say that power invariant transformation, that is orthogonal property we can use, so we can say P inverse is equal to P transpose. Hence we can write the inverse Parkes transformation as shown here. Okay, so AA, AB and AC, so we are using inverse, we are writing the expression for inverse Parkes transformation. Once we know that Parkes transformation matrix, we just take transpose of that matrix and we obtain inverse Parkes transformation, right? So we write this cos theta. So as we know, for transpose matrix, row become column and vice versa. So here cos theta minus 2 pi by 3 cos theta plus 2 pi by 3, and the similar way. So again in more compact form, we can write ABC is equal to P inverse ADQ0. That is, if I want to express all phase quantities with the reference phases ABC to DQ0 reference frame of theory, then P inverse, using that Parkes inverse transformation, we can have transform the quantities related with the current, voltage and flux linkage on the reference of ABC to the reference of DQ0. And if I want to express all these quantities from DQ0 reference to ABC reference, then we have to use Parkes transformation. Inverse for ABC to DQ0, right? So symbol A, see we used here A, capital A. What does it indicate? That capital A represents current, voltage or flux linkages. Okay. So IDQ0 is equal to PIABC. VDQ0 is equal to P into VABC. Similarly, flux linkage psi DQ0 is equal to P psi ABC. Similarly, IABC. If I want ABC to DQ0, then I have to use P inverse. That is inverse Parkes transformation. Okay. And this of course related with current, voltage and flux linkages. You can observe this on this slide, right? Now there is one question always they used to ask, very important: deduction of ID, IQ, I0 in terms of phase current I, IB and IC. For that we are going to use a certain trigonometric relation. Okay. Let the actual armature phase currents IA, IB, IC can be replaced by new fictitious ID, IQ and I0 in accordance with the following equations. These equations are important. Please remember these equations. IA is equal to ID cos theta minus IQ sin theta plus I0. D therefore cos. Q therefore sin. Right? And this is true. Okay, if we resolve that phasor, that like this, if we resolve this phasor, we know that this angle theta, it is adjacent. Therefore, I have to take for the d-axis cos theta, and further phasor will be sin theta along the q-axis. Then IB, we know three phases, armature phases A, B, C. These are 120 degree electrical apart. Therefore, IB expression will be what? Is equal to ID into cos of theta minus 120 degree minus IQ sine theta minus 120 degree plus I0. Similarly, I see ID cos of theta plus 120 degree minus IQ sine of theta plus 120 degree plus I0. Right? No substitution will be made for the field current IF. Similarly, similar substitutions are made for armature voltages and armature flux linkages. Correct? The inverse transformation can be obtained using following identities. These identities you have to note down carefully in your class copy. Okay? Because now I am giving you one short homework for all of you. And hope all of you will do that homework. Okay? So for that you have to use these identities as shown here. Read these identities carefully and use all these identities. Try to solve that. So these three equations, we are having these three equations. Now what is our goal? We are transforming all these quantities. For example, current quantities for the reference of ABC to DQ0 reference. Okay. So for that what we do, first we write down the basic equations. Then to obtain ID. Now what I want, DQ0 to ABC reference. For that, using previous slide trigonometric relations, what you do, to obtain ID, multiply the first, second and third equations as shown above by cos theta, cos of theta minus 120 degree and cos of theta plus 120 degree respectively. What we do, you do first multiply by these factors and then add these three, okay, to obtain ID. Similarly, to obtain IQ, what you do, you multiply them, all these three equations, by sine theta minus 120 degree and sine theta plus 120 degree respectively. And to obtain I0, simply add three equations together. Correct? Why we are calling this 0? Now you are getting that result. So to obtain I0, simply add three equations together. So the inverse transformation will be what? After solving this, after doing such algebraic operation on these above three equations, take this as homework. And then during our discussion meet, tell me whether you are getting these expressions or not. If you are having difficulty, you can ask me during that discussion meet. Okay? So ID is equal to, we obtain the expression as what? 2 by 3 IA cos theta plus IB cos theta minus 120 degree plus IC cos theta plus 120 degree. Similarly for IQ. And see third equation, I0 is equal to 1/3 of IA plus IB plus IC. And we know that, we learned during short circuit studies you made in your CMPSA subject or EP2 subject, we know this is equal to 0. Therefore, we call that third axis as a 0 axis. Right? Now let us have the physical interpretation of Parkes variable. That means significance of Parkes variable. The major advantage of Parkes transformation is that machine equations are reduced to time invariant form, which makes the calculations fast and simple. The DQ0 transformation may be viewed as a means of referring the stator quantities to the rotor side. Exactly similar when we learn about the transformer, when we solve numerical based on transformer, primary side, secondary side. We are not, if you remember, we are not finding the parameters differently, refer to the primary and to the secondary, but we use the quantities, common quantities referred to either primary side or secondary side. So here also DQ0 transformation may be viewed as a means of referring the stator quantities to the rotor side. That makes calculation more simpler and easy. right? Let us see advantages of DQ0 transformation. The analysis of synchronous machine equations in terms of DQ0 variables considerably simpler than in terms of phase quantities for the following reasons. First, the dynamic performance equations have constant inductances. Second, for balanced conditions, zero sequence quantities disappear. We know this. For balanced steady state operation, the stator quantities have constant values. And the parameters associated with D and Q axis may be directly measured from terminal tests. I will repeat this. Parameters associated with D and Q axis may be directly measured from terminal tests. All of you have already performed experiment based on this in your machine practicals to find XD, XQ. And the tests were known as slip test and static test. Okay. So that's why it is used to say that the parameters associated with D and Q axis may be directly measured from terminal tests. Right? So, before summarizing today's session, I request to all of you to do that short homework. Okay? Using those trigonometric relations. And see whether you are getting results or not. Right? Okay. And we will discuss, of course, we are going to discuss those during our discussion meet. Right? So let us summarize today's session. Today we have been introduced for reference frame theory. What is the importance of reference frame theory? How the complicated circuits can be analyzed because of the reference frame theory. Then from our syllabus point of view, we have to focus on Parkes transformation and inverse Parkes transformation. For finding inverse Parkes transformation, we have used orthogonal property of the matrix. That is P inverse is equal to P transpose. P stands for Parkes transformation. Right? And then deduction of ID, IQ, I0 in terms of phase current IA, IB and IC. And then we have seen significance of Parkes variables. Okay? From this Parkes transformation, one can understand that how easily we are obtaining expressions or how one can analyze synchronous machines mathematically in very simple and easy way for different quantities, for current, for voltage, for flux linkages using Parkes transformation. Right? Okay. So that's all for today's session. Thank you. Thank you to all.